You're listening to Popstar Conversations, taking you inside with your favorite musical artists.
Chuck and I are sitting here with the multi-talented Alicia Keys. Alicia, welcome to the show.
Alicia, it's great to have you here. To quote your song, what makes Alicia Keys a girl on fire?
You're so good. What makes me a girl on fire is kind of finally finding my place, finally finding my footing, and standing confidently just in my space, and that's what makes anyone a girl on fire, or just on fire. May you not be a girl, you're still on fire. You're in your own place, and you're 100% confident being yourself. That doesn't mean you're perfect. That doesn't mean that you don't have any insecurities. Doesn't mean that you're not, still finding your way. It just means that you are confidently comfortable being yourself right now. And I think that's an amazing feeling.
Has your life changed now that you're married and started a family of your own?
I think so. I think it's natural. It's definitely a natural progression. And I think being, now being a mother and being married, it is the next chapter of my life. And there's certain things that come with that. You're not going to do the same things that you did before, and you're not going to take the same crap that you took before, to be honest. You become in a place where you're like, you know what? Here's my life, and I don't really want to deal with that extra stuff anymore. I think when I first started in this business, or when I was in my early 20s, it's like you'll kind of be more willing to take people's crap because, one, you don't probably know that much better, or two, you feel like you have to do whatever. And it's like, then you get to a place where you're like, I don't have to do this. And it's not just because I'm me or because I'm quote unquote successful or something like that. It's just period. It's a life understanding that I don't have to deal with things that I don't feel comfortable with. It's a life choice.
This album, Girl on Fire, it seems to reveal a more content Alicia Keys.
Yeah, or a discovery of who I am, because, naturally, from As I Am, that was a big transitional time for me, As I Am. And I think musically I was able to really find a pretty, incredible place. But it was a big transition. A lot of things was going on during the making of the As I Am album. And that was a pretty tough time for me, really, really tough. And then kind of the accumulation of it all came out in this album. And I think it was triumphant going forward because I kind of had made it through that moment. And then Element of Freedom was a really interesting time too. And I think that the name of the album says it all, the element of, which just means, and then I never even thought about this before until now, an element of it only means a small portion. And at the time when I named it, I thought it was look at all this freedom that I understand and feel now, but in actuality, it's still just an element of it. And now, I think that it's finally come to a place where I've really, can understand what it means to be my own woman, and what it means to be free in that space, just really claiming what it is that I want. I think there comes a time in all of our lives where we're going to stop blaming other people for whatever it is that our life is, and we're going to start wanting to choose how we want our life to go. And it's a process. It is a process, and it takes time, and it takes a lot of balls. And it takes a lot to kind of say, wow, I'm not happy with this anymore. I'm going to have to figure out how to move in another direction, and that's not easy. But once you do it, I think the world opens up for you. The world opens up for you because you're ready for it to.
Did you feel misunderstood?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did feel misunderstood in so many ways. And I think I did feel limited in so many ways. I think in actuality, what I realized is, this interesting world, this interesting entertainment world, it can free you or it can jail you. And it's so crazy, how that can happen. And it happens for many reasons and different reasons for different people. But I think that it's so interesting because here you have this opportunity to speak and say and sing and reach so many people, and that in itself is a freedom. You know, that in itself is a privilege. It's a freedom. It's a power. And then at the other side, sometimes I think, you know, you could end up feeling so restricted at the same time. And so I think in some ways for in certain periods of my life, I did feel restricted or misunderstood or unable to be fully myself or whatever. And, you know, it's different now though.
I noticed that the first 4 songs of this album are quite extreme, but the rest seem to be a more classic Alicia Keys.
I frigging love that you just said that. That meant everything to me just there. And I think that is a really cool part of this album. It's true. There is a radical side to this album. It is different sonically. It is, you know, there are songs that are extremely like crazy drum heavy and eccentric and triumphant and almost progressive, like, you know, the song When It's All Over, which is the second song on the album. It might be one of the most progressive songs I've ever done. It has like a main piano part, and then it has very jazzy drum sample style, and then it moves into this 4 on the floor drum thing with a whole other piano style to it, and each time it's like it's moving through these different movements or parts of the song, and it's definitely different, and I love it. I love it being different. And then you can fast forward to a song like Not Even the King, which is just like pure piano and voice, or Tears Always Win, which is like, you know, 60s style mixed with like future drums and that type of thing. Or you can keep going and find yourself at a song called Limitless, which does have a dubstep reggae style to it. It's awesome. I love this record for that. I love the fact that it's a journey. I love that you're not going to get tired of it or that you're not going to expect it. And that's the things that I've probably heard the most from people is like, from the beginning, from the moment I started playing songs for people, it was like, I didn't expect that, but I love it. And who could ask for anything more?
You have some really unexpected group of collaborators. Jamie from XX, Emily Sandé, Frank Ocean, Nicki Minaj. Wow.
Yeah, no, there's an awesome group of collaborators that I was able to work with. And I think for some reason, more than ever, just for circumstance, really, it was like circumstances beyond my control led me to this place where I did things like I never did before on this record, and I was open and excited about working with people that I'd never worked with before because I was admirers of their style, you know what I mean? And it just so happened I was led kind of from one place to another, and then we would connect. So be that Jamie XX, which was awesome, and like super collision of sound and style, like that's the one I was speaking about, When It's All Over. If it was Emily Sandé, you know, really beautiful, timeless writing style combined with mine, and like both piano players, both vocalists, both writers. There was something just so in sync about the two of us that it just developed, I think, some of the most beautiful songs I've ever written. To you know, kind of new up and comers like Pop and Oak, who I did a lot of interesting production collaborations with, that, you know, a lot of them didn't even make the record just because, you know, I wanted to make it a short, concise record. But there's like some songs that you could hear that we did. It's just crazy. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. Nicki Minaj on Girl on Fire, which I love because, you know, I think that she's delivered some of her best lyrics and best delivery that I've heard from her in a way that's really honest and true to the song and to herself. And I love her being on the song because it says that A Girl on Fire is really about being you. And I love that we're so different from each other and we're both girls on fire. So that says a lot.
Alicia, I understand that you and your husband dated for almost 14 years, and then you wrote a song about it.
It's true. We've known each other so long. Like, we've been in the same industry, obviously. You know, he started when he was about 16 or 17. I started, like, you know, becoming popular, at least he did. And same for me. And so we met each other, like, so many years ago, strangely enough, by a friend of mine, a mutual friend, and we just happened to meet, and I don't even know where we were. We were at someone's, I don't know if it was in school or in some type of, I don't know what, but it was a long time ago, like not even out of high school. It's crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's when I knew it was one of my favorite songs on the record. I wrote it with Babyface. I know I'm a great admirer of his work, and he's such a incredible, timeless songwriter. It was really a great experience to write with someone of such songwriting like class, you know what I mean? Like just someone who has written so many great songs for so many years, and that was really cool. And so yeah, to describe that emotion of the very minute, like the very moment that you knew that something was happening between you and another, you know, and in this case me and my husband, and it was just like whoa, and you can remember every detail of every single thing. And I love that song. That song was amazing. I love that song.
So you're producing movies, a Broadway play, directing. That's quite impressive.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I have been finding myself more on the production side, though, of film and television. Like, you know, producing different TV movies. We did the Broadway play. We did, like you mentioned, the Broadway play was called Stick Fly. We did I did my first directorial debut in this Project 5, which was amazing. We did our first TV film on a station called Lifetime, and then we just also wrapped our first independent film, which was directed by George Tillman, starring Jennifer Hudson, Anthony Mackie, and Jeffrey Wright, about two boys surviving the summer in Brooklyn, called The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete. So that's pretty, I mean, we're kicking major ass, might I just say, and we're really moving forward on it, and I love it. I really like this kind of side where I'm able to be a little bit more behind the scenes, but really help to bring different really powerful stories to life. And maybe because for Mr. and Pete, I'm doing the score for the Broadway play. Stick Fly did the score. You know, it's moving me into like a new creative realm. So I'm really loving it. And I still have major passion for acting, and I still would love to do. There's a couple of pieces that are on the horizon, and you know, when it's right, it's right. It's always difficult to juggle the movie thing and the record thing, because it's like you either do the movie thing when you're not doing a record, otherwise you move into touring, and it's like you need a good strong, you know, 6 months or so, or even 2 or 3 months to do a film. So it's like, when do you fit it in if you already have a record? So it's a little tricky, like the balance of when do you do what. But I love it. I really love it.
And you've even done a movie soundtrack.
Oh yes, that was such a cool experience, being able to do the Bond theme with Jack White. It was nuts. That was like a dream scenario. I love Jack. I love how he's so eccentric and phenomenal as a musician, and to be able to be a part of the whole Bond legacy, you know, I mean, it's nuts. It's really a dream moment. And
you also executive produced the movie Firelight.
Yes, that's the one that was on Lifetime. I guess I didn't say the name. You're awesome. You're doing your research. That's my guy right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Will you be touring this album?
I'm definitely touring top of next year. Super excited. We already have our tour dates kind of tentatively locked in. And man, to put this album on the road and see it come to life in a visual way, I really feel like it's going to be a really exciting tour. You know, because I'm in a new place and I'm ready to do new things kind of on the touring side as well. And I think it's going to be really fresh to go out with Egypt and have him on tour with me. You know, I think that's going to be really beautiful, because every tour, you know, before then, it's kind of like you're just either trying to catch up with yourself or catch up with your sleep. And I don't know if I ever get a chance to really like experience a place. And I think that now with him, you know, I'm really going to want to see him, to see the world and in some cool ways. So that's going to be really fun.
Alicia, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for the incredible interview. Thank you again for listening to Popstar Conversations. Be sure to click the subscribe button below and hit the red bell so that you'll be notified of our next exclusive interview.
Thank you for listening to Popstar Conversations. Please join us again for another conversation with your favorite musical artist.